Okay, guys, today is day 4, week 1, and today we're going to be talking about teamwork. But recap, what did we talk about yesterday, guys? What did we talk about? What are some of the cool stuff we can do with GitHub? Share a code. What else can you do? You can do what? Yes? What else can you do?
Download clone code.
Yes? You can do a lot of stuff. You can communicate with people. It's an infinite number of things you can do. You can look at people's you can prove who you how good you are as a developer. Twitter, Bootstrap. Yep. It's just exactly open source projects. You'd be surprised how much stuff you can do with GitHub. It's just crazy. There's a reason why it's worth like billions of dollars. And how much content. As you guys get better, you guys are gonna explore GitHub more, and I encourage you guys to do that. It's just a bunch of crazy stuff. You can find jobs, all types of stuff. But what is the purpose of GitHub? What is their main objective? Why do they exist? To share code. So you guys got a good idea of that. You guys are one day gonna have a ton of projects just like this, okay? And you're gonna be able to look at people's code and be like, wow, that was really good, And then I want you guys to understand that this is your chance to show your future teammates, people you want to work with, people who you want to hire you, how good you are. So you guys need to take the time to create a README, right? This one right here happens to be for a fuck me. I want you guys to see this. This is for a small mobile app. What is the objective of this app? I'm not trying to build Facebook. I'm trying to show people that if you want an app that's on mobile that has a drawer navigation, a couple tabs at the bottom, multiple screens that can contain many types of content, a scrollable UI, that you can pay me money and I can build that for you. And I need you guys to do the same thing. Help me help you. Because the truth is I think you're all here to try to get a job. I think you're all here to get a job. And I want you to know, these are some of the people, these are the types of stuff I get. Someone's trying to invite me out to have beer. He's kept inviting me out to have beer. I don't even know why. But at the end of the day, what does he want? He wants me to recommend him some React Native developers. I told him, hey, I don't have any React Native developers, but I know some people that know React and Python. It's the class before me. And he said, you know what? I can train them. If you guys have enough foundational skill, people are going to be willing to pay you money to train. That's the type of job you're moving into. They're gonna say, you know what? I might invest $1,000, $2,000 into hiring this person, paying them for a month or two, but maybe I get a really good dev out of it. And that's how they look at it. So, in order to do this, in order to confidently recommend you guys, I need you guys to create READMEs. Create a good README. Don't take shortcuts on it. Where's that? Fuck, where'd I put it? Oh yeah, like this one. Okay? I want to see a little GIF. I kind of walked through it. I kind of walked you guys through how to make bullet points. I didn't do everything, okay? With READMEs, you can do bullet points. You can do numbers.
Isn't that the same thing as it's not rocket science on README to just press one and then list them, right?
What do you mean?
It works the same way as it does for a Google Doc or for a Word doc.
It does not work the same as Google Docs. This is not me just typing whatever I want to type here and clicking little buttons. I don't see a button to make anything bold. Can I just click and make it bold?
No. Oh, wait, can you not do command bold?
No, I can't. That's what I'm trying to tell you. That's you need to take the time to learn how to use this correctly. You just look at these exactly side by side. Okay? This is me writing. This is a type of code. I want a header 1, a big header. I want a smaller header. I want an even smaller header. I want something in italic. Look at it. You're looking at it right now. This is not magic. I want something that is italic. I want something that is bold. I want an image to somewhere. I want an image somewhere. Fuck it, let's just copy the one from up here. This is not going to magically happen. You guys are going to need to do these for each one of your projects. That's what I'm trying to say. I don't want you guys taking shortcuts on this. One day when your head's hurt and you can't figure out how to do something, you know what? Just describe your project. That's cool. Spend 15 minutes to think about what you've done so far. Write down some of the user stories and say, hey, this is what this project does. Take a break from, from actually coding. And
It looks different than like HTML coding. So where did you find how to do all that? Is there like a cheat sheet online?
Yeah, so there's something called a Markdown cheat sheet. It's available on one of these.
Yeah, I'm gonna print it out. Hang it on my bed and stare at the corner of it.
Let's just say Markdown cheat sheet. Markdown cheat sheet. So this is one of those things. It just takes a little bit of practice, okay? And here, you guys can see it right here. I don't think you guys can say I give you 30 minutes to read it. You're not going to remember. You need to just experiment a little bit, Just like with your HTML and CSS, I can sit here and talk about it all day. You guys need to play around with it, and you got to invest with some time into getting to know how to do this correctly. Because the thing is Markdown does not only work on the README. Okay, it's going to work elsewhere. So imagine I wanted to open up a pull request to an open source project. Okay, I could say, hey, I could do. So here, let's just comment. I need to find a better example. I need something with a lot of commits. Hold on. Whatever. Actually, this goes well into today's lesson. So I'm going to show this to you guys because we're going to be talking about teamwork in a little bit, right? That's what today's lesson is about. I'm looking at Tan here. He changed some code. Did something. I want to show him that, hey, I want to write a good explanation of why his code does not work well. Let's just say the Markdown demo wasn't great. Some of the students responded, this sucks. That's not easily understood, etc. When I click preview, I can easily communicate this now. Right? It's easily read. And I'm going to show you what I meant yesterday about open source projects. If you guys want to make an open source contribution and power up your CV, you can look these pull requests right here. These are pull requests. These are people from the community all over the world saying, hey, I wrote code to help React Native run faster. Okay? And this guy had to write a summary, blah, blah, blah. And they had to write some code, blah, blah, blah. And Markdown also works in Stack Overflow. Okay? When you guys are asking good questions, my bad, I need to show you mine. You guys can also get jobs from your Stack Overflow, by the way. If you have a
Kitten UI network. I heard about the Kitten UI.
I don't know what that is.
Have you guys played it before?
Fit UI.
It's pretty popular, program, when you want to learn UI UX or something. Ever heard about it?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't know.
Cat?
Did you just see it or something?
Yeah, it's like Flexbox Froggy, but for a cat.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with that one. But just know that whenever you guys ask questions on Stack Overflow, you're also using Markdown. Markdown is not going anywhere. See how you get little code indentations right here? Right? You say you got code indentations? Or not code indentations, syntax highlighting. And then, fuck, man. Why do I not see a single good example when I'm trying to show you guys? Hold on. React. They used to have a button called most popular. Fuck. Here it is. And anyway, this is called documentation. And in a little bit, I'm going to talk more about this. But you can't have all your text look exactly the same. If you show me a piece of a page that's like 500 characters long and it all looks exactly the same, I'm not going to read it. I promise you, I'm not going to read it. And your boss is not going to read it either. Same thing with your CV. Think about your CV, right? Whenever you guys create a CV, you also make certain text bigger, right? Change the title, etc. Okay. So let's go ahead and move forward. I'm sorry I keep talking about Markdown. You gotta be kidding me. Did I move out of this? Motherfucker. Okay, the point of teamwork is for building projects. That's what we're all doing, okay? Make no mistake, the end of the day, we're all building something for someone. And there are many other people other than the engineer involved. There's gonna be a bunch of other people you gotta deal with. You have to deal with your UX UI designer, your marketer, your CEO, your CTO, your fellow developers. And we need a way of doing this properly. And that's why we're going to show you, because like we want to teach you not only how to code, we want to teach you how to be a software engineer. This is what you have to do. Most companies do something called Agile. This is a school of thought that started coming around during the 90s, right? Back in the day, a big ass company like IBM or Microsoft or whatever company it was, they would put like $1 million together and say, you know what, we're just going to spend this $1 million this year to build this one app. And they'd have to come together and they'd have to draw these extensive ass plans and draw these UX UI diagrams, and everyone had to put their heads together, and it took a long time to get the working product at the end of the day. That's what it boils down to. It took a long time, and you wouldn't know whether or not the project was successful. So they came up with something called Agile. Not they specifically, but just a bunch of very senior software developers. So we're gonna talk about its principles. Not every single company, by the way, will do Agile the same. People have different levels of Agile. Kind of like Kung Fu. You know, some people live and breathe Kung Fu. That's all they do all day, you know? Other people like me just did it for a little while, just to, you know, work out. And, you know, it's kind of fun. That's what we're going to be doing over the next 4 days as you guys work together. You guys are going to be practicing working Agile. The project is going to do on Monday, and it should be fun. You guys are going to get to work together now. Coding isn't all about, or being a software developer, it just is, once again, is not about staring at your computer all day. You have to talk to other people sometimes. You're going to have to go to a lot of meetings, you know? You have to go to meetings and people are like, oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this, Lloyd? How easy is this? Can we do this by next week? Blah, 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 blah. When's this going to be done? Can you do more testing for me? Can you give me some more data? There's a bunch of meetings like this. So let's watch a video.
Suppose you'd like to start a new project. Usually you'd draw up a plan, make a schedule, find a project manager, hold endless meetings, and ultimately just hope you don't stumble before you reach the finish line. But what does that usually deliver? Everything's more expensive than expected. You stress about your deadline. The end result could have been better, and energy has drained from your team. These problems are solved with Scrum. With Scrum, you write fewer plans and you do more. In short cycles, we call sprints. You don't work on separate islands, but as one dedicated team. Instead of working on a project with a distant deadline, you constantly deliver functioning products. You don't use final evaluations, but you receive continuous feedback. Scrum is a flexible way of working in a rapidly changing world. It's frequently used in IT projects, so many of the websites you visit or apps you use were made using Scrum. This way of working is used more and more. Scrum was recently used to build a large new bridge, but it can also be used to develop new products, compile budgets and annual reports, organize events in your town, or even to set up a completely new company. How does Scrum work? Let's use the marketing campaign for a new car as an example. In the first week, you take action right away. You share a glimpse of your design through social media. The feedback you receive will be used in week 2. You attract media attention, which leads to new feedback for making improvements. We call these weeks sprints, which are actually mini projects that each produce their own specific results. Instead of knowing exactly where you want to end up, you take a step-by-step approach as you work towards your final ambition, like the successful launch of a new car. A Scrum team has stand-up meetings, works transparently, feels a joint responsibility, is aware of the progress made every day, and has results to celebrate after each sprint. Scrum has 3 roles. First, the product owner, the key stakeholder with a vision who provides direction to the team for each sprint. Then there are team members, 5 to 9 professionals in various disciplines who are jointly responsible for the results. The Scrum Master, a facilitator who focuses completely on the process. Then there are Scrum lists. The product backlog, in which you list your ambitions and express how you intend to achieve them. The sprint backlog, the shopping list of products you want to produce in the next sprint. The definition of done indicates precisely what needs to be done by the end of the sprint. And the Scrum board. This shows all of the team members' tasks, which will change from to do, to busy, to done during a sprint. Then there are 4 meetings. First, the sprint planning meeting. What exactly are we going to achieve during this sprint, and who's doing what? Next, the stand-up. Is everything going according to plan, and are we going to make it? The third meeting is the review, during which you deliver your results and receive feedback. The last meeting is the retrospective. You look back on the process and reflect on what you can improve as a team for the next sprint. Scrum is a powerful way of working that provides speed and energy. Maybe something for your organization too?
What did we learn, guys?
A method
Okay.
to work
Okay.
for within, I mean, you can use it for, product development, but you can use it for all kinds of other, like, areas too.
Mm.
But it's mainly for, development.
Okay, anyone else?
More fast moving and collaboration because they constantly feedback to each other instead of owning their own like work.
Does anyone here know what an outsourcing company is?
Yeah,
What-
I used to work for one,
Okay, well, what was it called?
Fram.
Okay. Okay, can you describe to me what an outsourcing company does?
So, basically, developers, the labor, when you outsource a service, you usually outsource it in a developing country where the labor is cheaper. So in this case, it was a Swedish outsourcing company, and they would hire developers in Vietnam to work for Swedish clients. So basically, instead of hiring Swedish developers in Sweden and pay them a Swedish salary, they would hire Vietnamese developers and they would work for these clients on different projects.
Was it easy?
No,
What did you do there?
I was a project manager.
Okay, so you do have some idea of what
We did Kanban and stuff.
Okay. So I can tell you something about building projects is it's really fucking hard. Getting a bunch of people to work together is really hard for an extended period of time. And from the perspective of a Vietnamese developer, you guys, right? What I'm going to tell you guys, if you want to own your own outsourcing company, you want to get someone to pay you remotely, etc., you need to prove to this person that you can build it. And it's going to be very hard to convince someone to give you $100,000 and wait a year before they can see the results. The whole purpose of Scrum is that they give you $500. You work for 1 week, you show them what you have, they keep giving you money.
It depends though, like if they hire you based on a project or they sign a contract for like a year where they really want you to be part of their team to build a product, because you know some outsourcing companies.
So there are many different ways that this works. There are many different ways that this works. But what it boils down to is whoever is the one who's in charge of paying you guys money, whether it be your CEO, your CTO, your investor, whoever, they want to see that you can build something. And they want to see it very quickly. That's what it boils down to. When they pay you, how they pay you, that's not important. What's important is that you need to be able, they need to be able to say, I want a sign-in form. And then you say, okay, I know what a sign-in form is. I want to have a place where you can put email, gender, age, password. And then you're gonna show it to them. And then you say, you know what? Thank you, this is amazing. Thank you, I'm so happy I found you. But the thing is, in my mind, when I thought of sign-up form, I thought of Facebook login. I thought of Google login. Then they say, okay, can you spend another week working on it? Then you add Facebook login, and then you add Google login. And then after that week, they say, all right, sweet, thank you for creating this login form. The last 2 weeks were great. Now, let's do another week. You know, let's go ahead and build something else. Now I want you to build a different page. So the point of Agile is to deliver results quickly and to get the product owner something to look at so that they can say, this is what I want different. It was pink last week, I want it blue this week. We need to be able to show them working code, and they need to feel good about us. People take this very seriously. There are people's job it is just to train how to do Agile correctly. There are many different variations. How many types of Christians do we have in the world? Exactly. How many different types of Muslims? There are many different schools of thought on Agile. Depending on the company you guys work at, you may or may not be using Agile. But just know that this is a big thing. You know, this is like a big idea. Some of the you guys may hear them called different things. Product owner. A product owner is whoever who makes the decision on what we build. That's what it boils down to. That's who it is. It could be anyone. They could be someone who's in Malaysia. They got a lot of money in this idea. You know, it could be the CEO who started the company. It could be the CTO. I'm not sure who the product owner is going to be for you guys. The Scrum Master is probably going to be the person who's making the decision on whether or not to hire you, because that's the person who is in charge of the entire team. They're saying, hey, man, this app right here, I want it to be just like Facebook. And Facebook has a mobile app and they have a web app. Well, Lloyd does mobile. We need someone to do web. So the Scrum Master is going to talk to the executive. It's probably the executive like, hey, we need to hire someone. And that Scrum Master is the person that makes that decision. You might hear that person called project manager. There are many different names, to be honest with you. It just depends on who. Like certain people, like you can have the exact same job title and do the exact same job, but certain companies, they want to be different. They'll call you something different. You know?
From more related to like web, it's project manager would be.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I would say Scrum Master is much more closely tied to IT specific. Yeah. Once again, software engineering is more than writing code. You got to share your code. Number two, man, you can write a book on number 2. You wouldn't be done. I forgot to actually get practice game. Fuck, I forgot to share this, guys. For those of you who start messing up this week, I want you guys to do this exercise right here, okay? It's just like Flexbox Froggy. Just like Flexbox Froggy. As you guys do things here, hold on, I'll show you. Okay, we're gonna go through a quick intro of what this is. Blah, blah, blah. Obviously, you guys are going to read it, okay? I am not reading this because it takes forever. Blah, blah, blah. So now they're saying, hey, I want you to do something. And there's gonna be a visual illustration. And it's gonna show you how you can commit and pull and merge and do all this stuff that's so useful, okay? I shared it in Discord. Did I close this again, man? Why is it? Okay. Okay, so some of the engineering processes, Agile is one of them. There are many different processes within Agile, okay? There's this concept of a sprint. A sprint is typically 2 weeks. That's how I've always done them. Not always, but I've done them shorter, but I prefer 2 weeks personally. But I have actually done them 1 week, now that I think about it. My previous company, we did it every week. You have a meeting, you have your product owner, your Scrum Master, some devs, you may be a technical lead, maybe you have some junior devs, maybe you have your back-end dev, and then you say, hey, this is what we want to build. Okay, I have this problem. Cotton, can you solve this problem for me? Right? And Cotton's gonna say something like, I don't know, let's look at it. And then, anyway, you have the meeting, everyone gets on the same page, everyone agrees, and no one says, no, we can't do that. If anyone raises their hand and says, I can't do that, that's where, that's where there's problems that come up. So, yeah, exactly. But that's what the meeting, the sprintly meeting, basically, your product owner is going to show something. They're going to show a diagram or show you an example of an application and say, hey, can we all build this? And then you as a developer, that's where you say, yes, we can. Okay? You might say something like, oh, I might need 2 weeks, or I might need the help from Cotton, or I might need the help from whoever. But that's where you're supposed to say, yes, we can. We can do that in 2 weeks. And when you say that, they're going to ask you, okay. Or actually, when you say that, that's where like they write it down somewhere and they say, hey, this is what Sean's going to do by Friday. And then when Friday comes along, you got to show them an example. And no one's going to talk to you in that time. Okay, that's a really important thing. The vast majority of times when you're being a programmer, no one's going to talk to you. No one's going to bother you. You can go work at home if you want. You can sit here and work if you want. No one's going to bother you. That's where you step up your game and show the company what you're worth. But but that being said, no one's going to talk to you. In that time, if you have any problems, you need to talk to your teammates. If you don't understand how something works, if the requirements are unclear, you're like, I don't know what they meant by there. You need to go talk to your project manager. Be like, hey, I'm not sure what you want. Can you clarify, right? And once again, you can't build everything by yourself. Sometimes you're quite literally going to need the help of a teammate. You can say, hey, Ken, I need you to give me this API. I need you to give me this token. I need you to write down what this does for me. So just know that the meeting should be very short, just to summarize what we're going to do, and then you move forward. Okay? I hope that makes sense clear. In a little bit, you guys are going to do that. Number 4 is documentation and testing. So we're going to talk about testing later on in class. We're going to actually write code that tests your applications for you. It seems very abstract right now, but just know that like as your applications grow in complexity, you cannot replicate every single feature that's going to occur, every single type of way that something can happen, and because it would just take way too much time. How many features does Facebook have? I don't think you guys think of features the way I do. I think of features as just something changes color correctly, the icon changes correctly, we move a user to a different screen if they click a button. Those are all features, right? They didn't magically show up. So just to make a long story short, as your applications get really complicated, you cannot manually test it. It would take you forever. You'd have to have 1,000 people sitting there just clicking buttons all day. Although there's some people who do that. They're called manual testers. Okay, some companies do have people like that. In fact, I would say you probably should have people like that. That being said, it's like, it's just not the best solution. Testing is. Number 5 also is something called time estimation, right? During our sprint meetings, we say, this is where we have the right to say, I don't know, I need to research. Or you don't say, I don't know, you say, I need to research this. Can you allow me some time to research this to figure out how we're going to do this, right? And then you tell the product owner, how long is this going to take? That's what it boils down to. The product owner is the person who's making the decision on what we're building. It could be anyone. And they need to know because they need to prioritize. They need to prioritize their budget. They need to figure out what to tell the investors. There's a whole bunch of stuff going on. Okay, and prioritization. Any single application in the world is going to have a million things they want you to do. I guarantee you. You talk to someone who's paying you money, they can name 1,000 things they want you to make this do. So, a part of the sprint meeting is to decide which one is the most important. The thing about people with ideas and money is they got a lot of ideas, right? And they're gonna write them all down for you. I've had this happen. I remember my previous company in Malaysia, man. I felt like this dude wrote a book about all the different things he wanted to have, man. It must have been 20 pages long. It was just a list of things that users could do. And I had to tell him, I was like, okay, you're gonna need an army of people to build this. But that being said, there's 500 different things. What's the most important thing? Okay, so what's really important here also is that you guys may not be software developers in a couple years. There's a lot of other positions at a company that are needed. And that if you've learned how to build software, you don't have to be the best software developer in the world. You can do that job. Me, for example, I don't write software every day anymore. I kind of do. I write little code and snippets, but my main job is not to write code anymore every single day, right now. Maybe it will be again in the future. Who knows? What I'm trying to say is there are many other positions that are required at a tech company, and in a couple years, if you guys do not want to be software developers, you don't enjoy it anymore, I want you guys to have the freedom to do other things. Okay? I want you guys to put yourselves in that position. And I believe that if you guys become good software developers, you guys will enjoy doing that. I don't know, but the truth is we all change, right? We all change. Maybe I don't want to be a software developer for forever, right? So please try to take this seriously because all these other positions are very important. You know, these are all very important positions. The product owner is a very important position. I actually think product owners get paid more money than software developers, which is crazy to think about to me.
What?
Yeah, product owner. Someone told me that. Someone whose opinion I really trust. This guy, his company, it's called Sapo. Have any of my Vietnamese friends ever heard of this? It's a huge company, man. They got like 600 people that work there.
I mean, yeah.
My friend is the CTO of Sapo. Blah blah blah. It's a huge company, man. They're working with Grab, I want to say now. I don't know. It's a huge company in Hanoi. They're always doing all types of cool shit. I remember I went to one of their company retreats one year, man. There's so many people that work at this company. You couldn't even know everyone who works there. It's crazy. They just signed a deal with Grab. Just long story short, to deliver. It's like Shopify for Vietnam, if you guys know what Shopify is. So anyway, Coy here told me that he felt like the product owner was the most important person on the team because he understood why we're building this, how we're going to make money from it. That's a very important thing. I got a to-do app. It's an amazing app. I got a team of people working with me together on it. How are we going to make money off this? So if I gave you guys this code and asked you guys to figure that out, I think it might be a while before you guys figured that out, right? And that's what the job of the product owner is. Okay, so know that these other roles are important. Try to respect these people. It's easy to get pissed off at them. I know I've gotten pissed off at product owners before, but know that the job is really hard and that maybe one day you might be able to do that. And the thing is, I can't say for a fact though, that as someone who's experienced in programming, you will become 10 times the product owner that you, someone who does not have the experience, okay? Just in case, you know, you guys are wondering. You guys will learn a lot about yourselves and know what you want to do, what pisses you off a lot, what you hate doing, etc. This project, you guys are probably not gonna do very well, to be honest with you. Yeah, but it's okay. The main point is to just work together, try to communicate, get a feel for it. Share your code, that's another thing, right? Communicate effectively. Communication is important. You gotta be able to tell someone something they don't wanna hear nicely. That's a real skill. I'm really bad at that sometimes. I hope you guys get better than me. This junior developer, someone got a job, I don't know, a couple years ago. What did he do on his first day? He accidentally destroyed a production database on his first day of the job. Imagine going to Facebook and all your messages were deleted. All your friends list was deleted. That was a bad day for this guy. So just know that it's okay, it happens. You know, it can't be worse than this. I don't see how you can do a better job than deleting all the data of the company. You know, like, yeah. Once again, let's try to fail now, you know, instead of later. I think you guys are gonna have merge request problems later, but that's okay. You know, we're gonna learn together. So what about our project planning details? Every single day, well, we do sprint planning one time, and then we do a stand-up every single day. That's typically how it works, by the way. So happy I reminded myself. So every company is a little bit different, but typically when you guys get to the office in the morning, everyone will stand in a circle and talk about something. They say, what I did yesterday, what I'm doing today, do I have any obstacles? I need the password to our Google account. I need the credentials to get our API key, etc. Retrospective, this is something I haven't done amazingly a lot, but that's typically where you say, oh, I hated us using Slack. I wish we'd all just use Messenger. Everyone's on Messenger, right? I wish we'd all use WhatsApp or something like that. You can complain about anything you want. Because you need to.
Separate meetings.
Yeah, so this is an ideal situation. You have 3 different types of meetings. These 2 only occur once during the sprint. The stand-up will occur every single day. You guys will literally stand up in a circle at the beginning of the day, and everyone on the team will say, hey, I finished doing the Facebook login yesterday. Today I'm gonna work on the Google login. Sean, can I get that password for our Google account so I can get the API, keep the test? And then you as a product owner, you're gonna go talk to someone in management and be like, all right guys, Lloyd needs this thing right here. Please go do that for him. And I'm gonna go sit on my desk and do some research. And then whenever you're done, you come talk to me, you tell me that you got that for me. Is that clear, guys? Once again, product owner, scrum master, developer. There's this concept of product backlog and choose what can be done and define success. These are very, also super important, you know? I keep telling you guys that things are super important. I'm sorry I keep repeating myself. Everything I say is important. I'm telling you right now. If you guys don't know any of these concepts, you guys are gonna look really bad at work, okay? So the product backlog, I wish I had an example. I don't have a credentials to my old company, so I can't show you. But a product backlog, you can just imagine it as a long ass list on Excel of just different things they want it to do. It's an impossibly long list. A job of a product of the Scrum Master is choose what's feasible, okay, and to define it and to create it and etc. What does that even mean? So what if your CEO said, "I want us to build something like Facebook Messenger," right? The product owner and the project manager can sit there and put their heads together and like, all right, can we do voice call? Can we do video call? Can we send images? Can we send GIFs? Can we send files? Messenger does all that. Everything I just told you, Messenger can do. So the product owner is going to say, all right, man, this is impossible. We can't do all this. Let's start one. I want us to be able to send messages. Send messages. That's all I want us to be able to do, right? And that's what we call the definition of done. They say, you know what? Lloyd said, or you can say this week, like, I know that Charles wants us to do everything exactly like Messenger, but that's not realistic. We cannot do all that. So how we're gonna define this week as a success is we're gonna say, if I can log in and I can send a message, I can type in a message, hit enter, and then the message goes, we're done. That's success right there. Because I promise you, whenever you guys become software developers, you're never ever gonna be done. Logging can always get more complicated. Earlier I said email, I said password, Facebook, Google. What about phone, right? Do we want to send a text message and have the user confirm their phone number? When the user signs up by the email, do we want to shoot off an email to make them confirm? Do they have to click the link in their email? The scope is always bigger. This is an introduction to the concept of scope. Okay? Scope changes. Depends on who you're asking. How big is the scope of the project? So that's what defining success is. Sometimes you'll hear it called the definition of done. It's called the definition of done. Come on. Definition of done. Why do I not have internet?
Yeah, I don't have that either.
Fuck. God damn it. Okay, let's just keep going. Once again, progress update, blockers update. It's important to communicate. It's okay to be blocked. It's okay to be unable to do something because you need something. It's a very normal thing. Okay? A retrospective is also something that sometimes where you deliver and present results. That's awesome. Actually, now that I think about it, I forgot about this. So it's okay to just call a meeting as a developer to show people what you built. That's okay. As a matter of fact, I would say the product owner is going to be very happy when you do that. As long as you get along with your product owner, they're going to be very happy if you say, hey Charles, you gave me 10 things you wanted me to do. I didn't do all of them yet, but I did 5 of them. Want to see? They're going to be very excited to come over and watch and click your buttons on your screen and be like, oh, thank you. Yeah, that's exactly what I want. And guess what? That's also where they can give you good feedback. And say, oh, could you make that color a little bit different? Or can you make the buttons more round, etc. So here's just some of the things that we're going to do, okay? I forgot to say that this is other concept called issues. Fuck, man, I forgot to mention this yesterday. Issues. GitHub projects, issues. Issues is basically saying that there's something wrong and we need to fix it. Actually, I did kind of show you guys these. Do I not have... Come on. Does anyone have internet here?
No.
Yeah.
Do you?
Are you connected?
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I can't. I don't know how to open my internet when I can't. Oh, there it is. What the fuck? Come on, baby. Guys, we got some technical difficulties here. I'm sorry. I gotta show you some stuff. Okay, so an issue is just basically it's like it's all you can see on GitHub. I need to show you one. Fuck.
Sorry, you guys can fix this guy's internet. You can connect to other school staff. So one person can, but it's not going to handle everybody.
Okay. Thank you.
You have 5 minutes, sorry.
Did you hear me complaining or something? This is fuck. Okay, nice, dope. Okay, so we're gonna go to React Native, Facebook. Come on, baby. Okay, so these guys see this icon right here, this tab right here? It's called issues. That means there's a problem. That's all it boils down to. And know that any open source project that you guys find on the internet, it's not going to be perfect. It's going to be broken in a lot of ways. And that's what issues are. Over the past 5 years, React Native has had almost over 16,000 issues. I expected when I pressed this button, this would happen, etc. So guess who? What? The guys at Facebook have been working on these issues to make this project better for the community. So we also ourselves can create issues. Right here. Alright, create an issue. I got to read all this documentation. Right? Guess what this is written in? Markdown. Blah blah blah. Anyway, just know that in order to do your job correctly, you need Markdown. You need to know how to use issues, and like let's just say that you're a product owner and you want something fixed. You may be able to talk to your developer inside of the office, but what if your developer is in an office in Hanoi, right? You guys need to use issues. You create issue. You describe what's going on. I moved too quickly, my bad, guys. You create an issue right here. You click this button. You give us a heading, right? You give the developer a heading, and you describe what's going on in detail. You describe what type of environment. This is so many different steps to this. It depends on different levels. But just know that issues is where you say that code is broken or something needs to be done. Sometimes issues will also be user stories. User stories saying user can sign in, user can enter their age, user can select the month, day, and year of their age, user can enter an address, etc. All of these processes that I've talked with you guys, they all should be working at the same time. I always think of it like this.
What is that? The watch?
Yeah, like a watch. Exactly.
Right, when it comes to these watches.
Yeah, it's like this, man. All these parts are all moving at once. You know, they're all moving at the same time, and if any one of them have like a problem, the whole thing is not going to work. And we're just one part of it. I feel like developer is pretty important, right? But at the end of the day, is like whoever who's going to help us make money so that everyone can get paid at the end of the day, that person is also very important to the team, right? So just know that we got a lot of parts. We're just one part of this organization, right? Talk to your Scrum Master and your project manager. Their job is to help you. Your Scrum Master, even though they may be annoying the shit out of you, constantly asking you, when is this going to be done? Their job is to help you, because if the project does not go well, they're going to get fired. It's in their very best interest that you do a good job. So if you have any problems, you need to be talking to your project manager. I need a new laptop. I need a mouse. I need this software. Whatever. Their job is to deal with you. Make their life hard. Okay, that's your job. After you build. If you can build, you can make their life hard. Okay, so enough about Agile. Let's talk about our assignment this weekend.
So that means we're gonna work in groups.
Yep.
So that means we're gonna meet up also during the weekend and do this?
Yes.
Okay.
You guys are going to need to do that for a while in your lives. Until you're pro as fuck, you know, like, at least you guys need to be talking to each other or clarifying stuff. Here's the instructions right here, guys. You guys all see it? Oh yeah, you guys don't see this, fuck. What I want you to do, what we want you guys to do is we're going to look at 4 example websites. And you guys are going to clone it. You guys are going to work as a team and decide what you're going to clone, which features. These websites are all pretty, you know, they're really pretty, right? They can do certain things. And each one of you is going to choose a role. How many we got? 1, 2. We're gonna have 2 teams. 2 teams of 4 people, okay? 2 teams of 4 people. Someone's gonna be the product owner. They're gonna write down everything they want. Someone else is going to be the project manager. They're gonna coordinate and try to lead the project. And the other 2 people are gonna be developers, okay? So you're gonna be developers and you're gonna actually work on it. And obviously, as a project owner and a product owner and a project manager, you guys can write code too. There's nothing stopping you from writing code, okay? But you guys are gonna have to figure out how to do that cohesively with your team. Because if you guys both all try to make the Naviwire at the same time, you're gonna run into 1,000,000 problems, I guarantee it. And we want you guys to run these problems right now. So that being said, we're gonna spend the next 15 minutes, each one of you, oh fuck, you don't have internet yet? Sarah, let's just walk through what I mean, okay? Do you see how right here I can scroll over my this image and kind of like the background changes, okay? So as a product owner, I'm going to create a document. I'm going to do it for you, fuck it. I'm going to create a new GitHub repository, and then I'm going to organize this project, or as a project manager. I'm going to say, hey, we're going to say, what's this project called? Startup landing. I made a directory, guys. I'm moving into it now. I have exactly 0 files in here. I'm going to touch a new file called readme. God damn, I cannot type today. me.md. I'm also going to, can I run this command?
What does
Git remote version. I cannot run this command right now because this is a new folder. This is not a GitHub project yet. I need to do something else. It's going to complain. It says, hey, it's not a Git repository. You need to do something. So as the project manager, the person taking responsibility for this project, I'm going to set up everything for my dev team. I'm going to make their life easier. I'm going to run git init. Okay, we've got one. And if I do git remote-v now, I don't see a complaint. That's because I haven't correctly, despite the fact that this is in fact a GitHub repository, I have not yet correctly linked it. So I'm going to create a new repository on GitHub.
Can you go a little bit slower, please?
I'm going to create a new project on a new repository on GitHub. I'm going to call it Startup Landing Page. I'm going to say an exercise in Agile, a short description. And I'm going to click Create a New Repository. Okay? So I'm telling GitHub, hey, I've got a new collection of files and folders that I want you to help me share with the world. That's what creating a repository is. I want to create a new collection of files and folders to share. So I'm going to click Create Repository, and we're going to see that we have 3 options here. I could import code from another repository. You guys don't need to know how to do this yet. Not important. Okay? I could also create one right now from this right here. But I've already done this. Did I not just run this git init command? Right? But notice one of the first things they ask you to do is create a readme, right? So I'm going to follow their advice. I'm going to touch a, did I already do this? Okay, I have a readme. So I'm going to open up my code editor. And in the readme, I'm going to say this is our project, la 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 la. And I'm going to say user stories. We're going to give this a heading of 3, user stories. We'll go ahead and create some brackets right here. We'll say user can see a nav bar. User can hover over a photo in the background. the border will appear. Okay, let's talk about some other stuff that this thing goes, what this does. What else? Kind of probably one of the more easier ones. Yeah, this one is more active, you know.
Are we gonna use Trello for the sprint?
No, I want you guys to all do this on GitHub. Okay, and we only have one sprint right now, so it's okay. So user can see a nav bar, user can see a footer, user can see a, see links, change color when hovered. And I want you guys to do this in detail. As a product owner, you gotta do this very detailed. Because the thing is, in the future, when you guys don't do this detailed and you're actually working on real things, right? The problem is gonna occur is that like, the developer's gonna read it and they're not gonna understand what you're saying, and you're just gonna have to repeat yourself anyway. You know, I guarantee you're gonna have to repeat yourself. So that's our objective today, guys. You guys as a team, we have 2 teams. You guys are going to look, yes?
Can we split the teams based on where we, kind of close to where we live, so that if in case we need to meet up, we don't need to go too far?
I mean, how do you guys want to do it? Let's have a vote. Let's look at some data. How do you guys, does her idea sound good?
Yeah?
Does anyone hate that idea? Does anyone have any other ideas? Okay, we'll do it that way.